Виє, виє вітер, плаче край вікна, тихо грають діти, ніч така сумна. Виє, виє вітер, плаче край вікна, тихо грають діти, ніч така сумна.
Hi, rollers. So, this is one of the candidacies for Ukraine's Eurovision, and in Ukraine, we gotta choose the candidate ourselves from Ukraine. But this one was actually presented to me by my wife, and this video and the song itself impressed her a lot, and me too, to be honest. This Masha Kondratenko, her name is Masha, first name, and the second name is Kondratenko. I'm not sure if it's a real name, but it could be. Sounds pretty average. Anyway, it is a pop musician, Ukrainian pop musician, who brought the world the cringe song Vanька Встанька. Do you remember that one, guys? Let me refresh your memory. So it was beginning of 2022. The full-scale invasion was in the beginning. We had a lot of cringy songs, and this one from her was very famous around the world, not just in Ukraine. So you've probably heard this one. Let's hear a bit.
Возвозу, що вас всіх треба спалить. Ванька, встанька, що таке? Приготуй собі пакет.
So yeah, that was Ukrainians are really cringed by this songs, especially by this song, one song, especially these days, and similar songs too. But in this song that we just witnessed before the beginning of the stream, like in intro, right? First of all, beautiful choreography and creepy. Secondly, I've read the lyrics, and that's a pretty good meaning in this song. You can actually read the lyrics yourselves too on under the video. There's a text there. Some of it is in Ukrainian, but you can easily translate it. So here it is. Yeah, so the main words are Виє, виє вітер, плаче край вікна, which is the wind is howling, howling 2 times, and the angle of a window cries. The kids are silently playing, тихо грають діти. The night is very sad, ніч така сумна. So yeah, what else do we have there? I recommend you to listen to it yourselves. Guys, so the set of paintings by Aziza, which we will talk about with Aziza. Here it is. Starting price is $700. For 3 paintings of Aziza, it's a good price, guys. Don't miss the chance to get one of those paintings. Place a bid. Let me send the link to this platform into the chat right away. Here it is, guys. So what do we have there? We also have Psycho and Colucci who sent me the awesome iron, which is heavy as fuck, and that's what I said there in the description. But here it is. That's how it looks. It says, "I will fucking hit you with this for Ukraine." Colucci and Psycho, 2nd of December 2024. So it happened almost 2 months ago. They were on the stream, and they signed that iron right there. I think Colucci did that, and they said, we're gonna send it to you." I've put it on the so here, that's how it looks. That is how it looks. I've put it on the auction for $300. The starting price is pretty big, but this item is too valuable and too, in my opinion, too valuable to not. So, yes, guys, let's. Hey, go and place some bids. Not you, Claire. Anyone who can. For Psycho and Colucci's Iron and for Aziz Painting. How are you doing, Claire?
Very well. How are you, Rick?
Pretty good. I had a fantastic Free Azov stream today. I met Viper, who's a foreign volunteer. Maybe you know him, by the way. Do you know him? He was on the Shills once.
I do
Or
know
twice.
of Viper. Yes,
You do know
I
him.
know.
You do know of
I-
him, right? But
Well,
not him.
and obviously I don't know him personally, but
Yeah. That's.
I have spoken to Viper. Viper.
Oh, you've spoken to him. Okay. So, yeah.
was looking for a vehicle.
Okay. I met a former captive who just got back from captivity on 30th of December, Claire.
Oh, geez.
27
wow.
days ago, and he was so inspiring and encouraging. Great guy. But of course, you could see that captivity affected him, and he agreed to come to my coffee shop stream. So we're gonna have a bigger conversation with him, and Rollers will be able to ask him questions. But
Amazing.
it is, it was one of a kind Free Azov stream. We auctioned a patch of 42nd Brigade, the brigade of Viper. Viper brought this patch for me to raffle, and I said, what if we do the auction right now? We did an auction. The competition was so heated, and it got to $750. This patch went for $750.
Wow.
That's a great result. So it was a fantastic stream, just one of a kind, unforgettable. Meeting a soldier, such a brave, unbreakable defender. He said, Claire, and very important delay. He was captured when he was 19 years old. 19 years old.
Jesus.
A kid. And he spent almost 3 years in captivity. He is 22 now, and the last 3 years he spent in captivity.
Goodness me. And he's well enough to come on your stream. That seems incredible.
Yeah,
How do you have that sort of...
yeah. I also
I mean, when you
impressed.
see pictures of people getting off the bus, they look very, some of them look very bright and very, they're hugging their families and,
Yeah.
and a lot going on. But some of them look completely just stunned, don't they?
Yeah, broken. He was telling me this today. He said, I've seen there in captivity, I've seen that older men than me were breaking, Russians were breaking their spirit, and they were, they were broken. But he didn't give up. He said that, he knew that not just, his family, of course, is waiting for him, but also people are fighting for them. And people are, like he said, that he's really encouraged, and he's happy to see that there are so many people on Free Azov rallies, and they are standing and screaming for them, not just standing, because people are screaming and honking there. And
Yeah.
it was such a, it was unforgettable 2 hours today. They were. And
So is he an Azov soldier?
yeah, he was in Mariupol. He went through Mariupol defense. And
Wow.
yeah, that's a remarkable man. Maybe he was a kid when the full-scale invasion started, just 19 years old. Now he's definitely not a kid. You can see it in his eyes.
Gosh, that's really quite heavy, actually, Rick. I find that quite heavy.
It is.
I think.
For me too, but we in Ukraine, we got to deal with it. The active members of our society, we got to deal with it pretty often. So we kind of don't get that upset from it. Of course, I feel it like it's heavy. I feel that it's tragic, you know. It's a huge tragedy, a personal tragedy, and the stories that he's telling, a lot of personal tragedies are happening in captivity, but still, he went through it, and he is unbroken, and he is really encouraging and inspiring me. Like, I was so inspired after I
Yeah, you'd have
spoken to
be.
him.
Yeah, wow. Wow. And what's he doing now? Recovering?
Yeah, going through rehabilitation. I think they need at least 3 to 6 months to at least gain weight, because Russians are starving them there, you know, and
Yeah.
they need to get their health at least in normal, because yeah. Hello, Ivan. How are you doing?
Hello, Rick. Hello, Claire.
Hello,
Uh,
Ivan.
Doing all right.
That's
By
good.
yourself?
I'm good. I'm really inspired by today's Free Azov stream. I was telling the events on that one, just 2 hours. We had so many people there and so many stories and so many events. I was telling it to Claire for the last 10 to 15 minutes, right, Claire?
Mm.
Too much to
Very.
tell.
I see. We met a guy on one of our trips who also was defending Azovstal,
Hmm.
and then he was captured at the beginning of the war,
Hmm.
and then he was released, and he's now teaching some sniping.
Hmm.
So he teaches some snipers, and we met with him, and there's actually his call sign is Krama, from Kramatorsk. Yeah, I mean, coming from or from his last name or something like that. So his call sign is Krama, and there is a video available online on YouTube how they are, how Russians are talking to him while he's been captured,
Hmm.
and he acts pretty aggressively. Like, he's not like, "Oh my God," and he's like, "What the hell are you talking about? Like, Ukraine's been free forever." Like, it's really, I would
Yeah.
say, he's outstanding there, and he's an incredible person. When I met him in person, he actually taught me how to shoot with a
Oh.
sniper rifle.
Nice. I bet it's a huge honor for you to be taught by such a guy, right?
Yeah. And he's actually about the same age as me, and he played in Metalist Kharkiv football team, and we played with Metalist Kharkiv when I was a kid. So we might even play together. Not together, but I mean against each other at some point in the past.
Wow, pretty cool. Andriy, this guy, his call sign is Architect, by the way. He is from Kherson, and he said that he discovered that Kherson was liberated only when he got exchanged. So in December 2024. He got back from captivity only on 30th of December, so only 27 days ago. So can you imagine 3 years being in total information vacuum, in the void, not knowing what is happening? And so much impressive, so many impressive stories he told me. And this, but he's so strong. He's unbroken there in captivity. He went through it, and he stayed strong and inspiring. Awesome guy. Okay, so guys, Claire, Ivan, whatever you have on your mind, or the updates for us, they will be useful. Because I'm curious what's happening. I follow a bit the delivery of the trucks by Jonathan's, by JP and JF, as we can, JP and JF, J's. So please, the microphone is yours.
It's just before we start, are they joining us?
In 3 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Because they have been quite ill.
Yeah, let's hope they will have some energy for us for at least an hour. But I think they will have, because this community gives a lot of energy, especially if they also will be able to read the chat.
So I think Ivan's...
Yeah. Me what?
I think you've got a lot more to tell than me because you've been meeting with the guys and dispatching cars all weekend.
Oh yeah, last week we were just swamped. It was a busy week because these guys came and they had quite a travel to get here. Like, as maybe some of you know, that when you get with a car inside of Ukraine, you need to bring it as humanitarian aid.
Mhm.
That an NGO from Ukraine provides a declaration. So you enter Ukraine with humanitarian aid. And when you go through Polish border and then Ukrainian border, you need to tell two different stories to both sides to make it work. So to Poles, you say, I'm not exporting that from Poland. So they just let you go. And then to Ukrainians, you say, I'm importing that. And that's it. But the guys were so pressured by Poles and then by Ukrainian that they just told that they're not bringing the cars to Ukraine. They just come in as tourists. They so much believe this story that they actually brought it through Ukrainian side as tourists. And yeah, some people, they might think, oh, it doesn't matter. The cars are still in Ukraine, right? No, because then if they don't take cars out of Ukraine, then they will be questioned by the border guards in 6 months where the hell the cars are. So basically, right after they came in, so happy that they made it, we made them go back to Poland and re-import the cars into Ukraine. But luckily, when they were leaving Ukraine, they had some tobacco on the back of the car, and a lot more than the European Union allows. So they exited Ukraine, and while they were in no man's land, they met with the Polish guards, and they like, what's that? And they're like, tobacco. They're like, you have to pay fine for that because you bring in way too much, or I can turn you around back into Ukraine. And this is exactly what they needed. They actually didn't need to get into Poland. They needed to get out of Ukraine, which is might be a weird thing, but you actually have like no man's land between two countries. So they got out of Ukraine, and because they had tobacco, actually saved them like a day, because the line on the Polish side was huge. So that Polish guard, she said, I'm gonna turn you around because you have tobacco, and then I'm gonna fine you. And the guy said, okay, perfect, but please turn around those two other cars as well.
Oh my god.
And she said, no problem. So she actually returned all three cars, and they made it. They made this whole hectic trip from Lviv to the border, crossing the border, dealing with the Poles, and coming back into Ukraine within like 6 hours. It was pretty fast. So they cleared 3 trucks, and that was
Most of a day.
it could be easily a whole day, and they would have missed everything they planned for that day.
Ah,
But luckily, this coincidence happened, and they're here. So that's how the trip started. But yeah, we also visited our workshop. We showed them around some of the work we do. There's also one truck that we've got that came back from the front line. So we deployed it like a year and a half ago, and it was used on the front line. It was badly damaged, not by rockets or something. It was damaged by just normal car things, and it's here in Lviv now. Hey, Jonathan.
hey,
How you
Jonathan.
holding up?
Hey, Jonathan.
I didn't know these two legends were going to be on the live stream.
I told you.
Are we-
I'd
are we
known that.
secret?
I wouldn't have been wobbling around a fundraising gig in the middle of Kiev, thinking I've got to get back to the hotel to get on with Rick. Yeah, Ivan and Claire. Wow.
Hi, Jonathan. How
Hey,
are
Jonathan.
you? asshole?
I tell you what, I was just going to say to Rick that I'm probably only going to be able to last half an hour here because I am done. But now that I see you two are here, it's probably going to be 32 minutes.
Mm.
Oh, thanks. Stu.
For each one extra minute for each.
What can it is?
That's
Well,
it.
yeah,
great
no.
to see you.
Yeah, it's been what sod's law that we have like 4 of us have caught this bug, virus, whatever,
Shit.
and because of my multiple sclerosis, it just sometimes when I get ill, it makes my MS go nuts, and it renders me completely incapacitated. And I wasn't able to walk, had to be lifted onto the train. And then when I got back here yesterday, I had to literally crawl on my hands and knees to get to the toilet. And I was like, man, I've got to get better because I cannot do what I've come out here to do,
Oh,
not being able to move. But actually today, I've been a lot better, and we were really productive today. Really good to do and see what we've seen. So
Even
fantastic.
joined Free Azov for a few minutes, right?
Do you know what we were thinking it was not going to fit in with the timing, and then we were just driving through it, and so we are like, "Oh, Free Azov." I'll tell you what, Mark and JR are here, Ivan and Claire, who are part of our team that you know, and they've just walked in the door with a bottle of wine. So, it's obviously going to be a later night than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
But yeah, so we went to the Free Azov rally and stopped by there, and I got to interview someone there, and that was fantastic because that's one of those kind of iconic things to see.
What did you feel there, being on Free Azov, surrounded by so many people who were shouting and people were honking? How is it? Share the experience
It's
of your
great.
first Free Azov.
It's great to know that takes place every single week, which is fantastic. It's good to see you jumping sideways. Jonathan, you are sideways. I don't know. All right.
How do I fix that? Hello.
No, you fixed it. Yeah. So
Hello,
that was
Jonathan.
really good to see, and
Hello, Jonathan.
I got to interview someone there as well, which is fantastic. The two things to note: there's a guy that was in yellow today that points at people and points at a car and goes, honk, honk, honk. You need a honk. And he goes, yeah, you done it. And he was great to watch, like just really actively, like geeing up all the people. But Rick, I don't know if you can answer why there's always, well, I presume it's always a long sort of rally of minis. Why minis are a
Just
thing?
there are not only minis, but there's also Subarus, for example. There's a whole
Yeah, but there
set
are a lot of
Subarus
minis, though.
and a lot of minis. We have Kyiv Mini Club or Ukraine Mini Club or something, and they decided that they want to join Free Azov rallies at some point. It was last year, I guess, maybe even before that, maybe in 2023 or 2022. Don't know, but yeah, I've spoken once on one of the Free Azov rallies. They stopped on the traffic light. I came to them, stick my microphone in the window and asked a few questions of one of the mini drivers, and
Nice.
they were like, yeah, we're in Mini Club, and in Mini Club we support the captives and we want them to get back. So that's basically it. There's also, and the set of cars, different cars, grows every time. Now they have a huge set of Subarus, like, how many of them? I think at least 10 to 12, and they have all those Rory engines, like going around, really
Presents.
sports cars.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so we went to Free Azov rally, and we were different from Jonathan Fink. So we, just to let people know that we were came out here as a group of sort of 7, 8, depending on at what time. And Jonathan Fink was out with Yaroslava, a Ukrainian woman that he knows from the UK, who's been really, really useful and helpful and lovely addition to the team. And they went off and did a separate thing today, and we went through Azov Rally onto Irpin, then Bucha, then Borodyanka.
Borodyanka. Mhm.
Yeah, and then so we went to see the bridge at Irpin, the cars with all the sunflowers painted on them that are piled up into a big sort of twisted wreckage mound of cars, the ones that were destroyed in Irpin, and then onto Bucha to see where they exhumed all the people that were buried, a good 640 odd people there. And then onto Borodyanka, where we saw, we also in Irpin, the House of Culture, which has a Banksy on the side, and it's all kind of shrapnel bullet holes there, and then onto these other buildings with other Banksies. And we've seen technically 4 Banksies, I think, today.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if one of them's an original. I think they took the original and replaced it with something else that might not be a Banksy. But anyway, and then all these destroyed buildings, and the point being that we've, achieved an awful lot of seeing these very iconic parts of the area that unfortunately signify, death and destruction and genocide, actually. So, it's you don't want this to be war tourism, kind of war porn or whatever, however you want to say it. But it's about, for me, joining the dots and all the places that we've heard about so much in the news and we've seen footage of. Go there and visit these places and get that connection to them and join those dots and then be able to communicate that to our audiences. I think is really important. Anyway, that's a lot of me talking.
Guys,
Yeah,
yeah.
hello, Roman.
Roman-
Yeah, I think you wanted to, I guess.
Yeah, introduce
Greet
Roman.
Roman.
Roman looks very
Introduce.
foggy.
Greet.
Sorry, guys, I'm working on spreadsheets. 1 sec.
Keep working.
He tries to copy me, yeah.
Roman is someone I wanted to say hi to for a long time. Hi.
Hi, Jonathan.
Which one?
Both.
Yes, exactly.
See what it is.
That's when you as Rick a little bit, I guess, confused, right? They got the JP, they got JF, but also they've got JR.
JR with all the
JR.
J's. All
So
the J's.
3 J's. We actually they created the chat that they called 3XJs and Rick. 3XJ and Rick.
True.
That's right.
Do you know what I love about Ukraine, apart from almost everything, is like patches. And when I go to these places that we've been to, whether it be Jigger's Paw, we went to see this drone procurement charity and electronic warfare and components and stuff, the amazing work they do. And at the end, it's like, oh, do you want these patches? I'm like, shit, yeah. I'm like, yeah. And then you go, oh, what's it, this aerial drone IRV company in Lviv. And it's like, oh, do you want this patch? I'm like, yeah, I love it. I love patches. Not
Yeah.
afraid to.
I've got one for you, Jonathan. So it turns out I've got 2 of these. I think I need to check my bags, but this is the sort of satirical artist, if you can see this,
Wow.
Nice.
and he designed stuff in a kind of medieval style. But it's
Yeah, I was going to say that had a
you
real
know,
medieval. Yeah.
Wow.
it's like Bayeux tapestry kind of thing, but
Yeah.
it's an avenging drone with angel wings, and it's really cool stuff.
I really like that one too.
That's become an art form, really, hasn't it?
It is. This guy invented this particular art form. So he's a brilliant. He works with lithographs and old printing techniques, like sort of 19th century, like they would have done in Japan or whatever, wood blocks. But they're also memes. They're just brilliant for the whole meme environment and for satire. So he's combining these sort of ancient styles of art with modern digital activism, and he's an incredibly cool guy.
So when you're traveling together, you two, Jonathans, you don't twin it. You go in separate directions. Do you do breakfast together and then split up?
I mean, I
or-
can't stand Jonathan, and that's what we've discovered on this trip. Awful man.
Yeah,
awful.
well, I can understand that.
So
No, he expects to
torturous.
not only carry his luggage, but carry himself personally.
Oh, jeez.
I thought all people called Jonathan were freaking amazing, but it turns out that it's not the case.
Especially ones born in the 70s, I mean, we're exceptional. No, we done a lot of stuff in parallel. Like we went to the drone charity. We're meeting a senior Azov commander tomorrow to have a bit of a chat and kind of learn more about what's going on. And we try and do a lot of stuff
together.
We've been invited for a sauna, or rather, I have. But Jonathan's going to be my chaperone just to
I'm
make
just
sure I
coming
don't get
along
into
for the-
trouble.
For the laugh.
Jonathan,
Yeah.
don't go in the Pierce. Don't go in the sauna. It doesn't sound right for you.
I don't know. I think I'm the one that makes that decision. Sounds great.
Sounds
Roman,
great. I mean, that's my first. That'll be
these
my
two have been
first
traveling
viral
for-
video. I think me and Jonathan stark as in a sauna. I mean, that's what other chance
What's
we
not
got
to
to
like?
go
What's
viral?
not to like?
Yeah.
It's like the men's towel club.
So we've done some like parallel stuff and some and a few different things, and I think I think we're broadly going to be together for the rest of the time. Is
The
that-
next trip to Ukraine, hopefully, will be to film a documentary film, and we're funding a camera team to go around with an aid convoy around the sort of more frontline areas. So yeah, whatever left's unspent from this trip is going to go straight into that project. What we want to do there is compete with the Russian propaganda that's making it into film festivals like Russians at War. They're putting huge amounts of money into their kind of glossy propaganda bullshit, and unfortunately it works. Like, oh, the thing like, well, of course Ukrainians are dying, but Russians are dying too. Oh dear, oh, boo. They shouldn't have invaded someone's fucking country. They should just fuck off back to Orkistan. So that's my point of view. But the trouble is there isn't much money.
This
I'm
time.
like thinking of, Balotistan or whatever you want to call it.
Nice.
Um,
Mordoristan, right?
Can I just
Mordoristan.
interject here?
Or-
Can I just interject? Right, I've spent some time on the road with Fink now for a little bit, and you watch Silicon Curtain, and you see Fink like is highfalutin interviews with like all the top academics and analysts and stuff, and he's like, gives it all the old proper knowledgeable stuff.
Yeah,
And
like
then,
that.
and then
Yeah.
on the road, he's effing and jeffing like no one else you've seen. He's like, F this, words that I didn't even know would come out of such an erudite man's mouth.
That fits
I'm-
perfectly for the format of my streams. Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah,
There we
can
go.
I just say, because I never swear. Like, never swear.
Yeah,
And,
mate.
uh,
Yeah, yeah.
And you
It's-
started
it's
doing
like
it
been-
in the
been quite a
company
bit.
of JF, right? Did you
It's
start doing it?
corrupted. It's corrupted.
It's corrupted
Yeah.
me. Who knew it?
I also will make a boast that I'm almost as fluent at swearing in Russian as I am in English. So that's something else if I have a few drinks. But it helps.
think-
It helps in the insults. They have
Didn't-
to understand the insults.
Didn't Yara teach us the word for fuckface? I'm sorry to use such.
Ah, yeah.
Offensive
What was that? What was that
language.
one?
I don't know. now.
Dolbayob.
Ah, Dolbayob, yeah.
Dolbayob.
That's a,
What was the other one I quite like? Someone told me.
Classic.
yeah.
Oh, we were talking about why they were stealing toilets and stuff, and how they need to return to Pizdushko.
What do you mean by that? They're the place or the thing?
No, just another synonym for Orkistan.
Ah, I hear it.
Pizdushko. Or what they create, or out of how places get ruined or wrecked when I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to
doesn't. Yeah, it
Ukrainians.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Does it not make sense?
I
No.
love it. It's like I've been
Not
sold
at all.
up.
I'll have to work on that one.
Yeah.
I'll have to work
The
on that.
pronunciation. We talked about this the other day, actually. How when you and I'll be making this up, but like you'd say to a French person, "Où est la plage?" They go, "What?" You go, "Où est la plage?"
Huh?
What do you mean? Où est la plage? I don't know what you mean. You go, "Où est la plage?" They go, "Ah, où est la plage?" And you go, "Yeah, that's what I freaking said 3 times." Why? What? So it's probably that Fink is saying something that's just
I've
the
got
slight
the-
intonation's wrong.
I've
And
got the
if he said
intonation
it,
on the wrong vowel,
yeah, and they'd be like,
Ah,
that's what you
Gorshko,
mean."
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Now I'm really insulted.
yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work if you have to insult them 10 times to get the point across, right?
No, it doesn't. It's got to work first time. Bang between the eyes. Yeah.
About 20 minutes into it, I realized I hadn't put it on the socials, so I did like announce this as a post that this is happening. So I hope you've got some
Awesome.
of the ATP geopolitics team in there.
I hope so. We could use
like it.
we could use more donors, Jonathan. And your donors are, wow, you achieved remarkable result. But not only donors, of course, also the community members. Because here it is also about the warmth, the kindness, the support. This community is doing such amazing things to the other community members. As I sometimes am just completely blown away, and not just me, my guests, my co-hosts like Roman. Roman was blown away by rollers so many times, and Keep doing that.
Yeah,
guys.
I think we have. I mean, you and I, Rick, we have. I don't have the biggest channel. You know, we don't have the most subscribers, but the people we do have are wonderful, wonderful people who are highly committed and
Yeah.
incredibly generous, and I'm forever grateful.
Yeah, commitment and generosity are two values that we definitely have in both communities. Well, I would say.
Sure, Jonathan think, but I just don't know enough about his community to know that.
Mm.
Sorry,
Well, I
Jonathan.
think you have to build that community engagement, and we only, Cars for Ukraine, the documentary that we're fundraising for, we only really started fundraising on the channel round about, just before the Cars for Ukraine. So I think it's difficult, isn't it, when you haven't done that before, when
Yeah.
your audience aren't used to that kind of thing. But I think moving forward, Jonathan and I were talking about, look, it's at a point where forget this, like, sitting in an ivory tower, trying to do something to help informationally. That's not enough. We've got to physically help now as well. So I think we're going to be running live streams every week with Jonathan if he's up for it. If he doesn't hate me by the time we get back to the UK,
I
and
love
we're
you,
going
man.
to do
Love you.
we're going to do
He
fundraisers
wants
in all
to
of
spoon
those.
you.
Guys, if you
Right.
ever lack guys, if you ever lack requests from soldiers, I have a line of them, okay? You can come to me. I will definitely
Yeah.
give you a unit who you can help. Sorry, but I'm just trying
Definitely.
to help them to
Definitely.
get the equipment faster than I can provide them with. Because, for example, right now, I have always 10 units waiting in line.
Yeah.
And it takes 4 months approximately in average. It could be 3.5, it could be 4.5, but yeah, approximately 4 months to get to them. And sometimes
You have them racked and stacked. You do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I do
I mean,
it all
Ivan,
the
this is
time.
one. When I started putting the Cars for Ukraine up there, and then getting close to coming over to bring them over here, 6 different people got in touch with me saying, "Can I have one of those? I'm in Kursk, I'm in Pokrovsk, I'm here. We
Really?
need that. Can I have
Right.
one?"
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
get
how it
them all
works.
the
And-
time.
and
It's terrible, isn't it? It's really, the pressure's enormous, and the need is so deep and so long and so vast, and providing for that, which kind of leads us into what we're trying to do, which is to ramp up how many cars we provide this year. So we're aiming to provide 100 cars more than ever before.
Mhm.
And I think to try and relieve some of this desperate need for vehicles. And to me, this is highly achievable. And Car for Ukraine's never been in this YouTube space before. So it's like a whole new crowdfunding that comes available. And I think it's the level of need is so great that I think we'll get the response. And we've got the wonderful Georgie working on Ukraine Matters on his fundraiser, and he's going to be buying 25 cars. You guys bought 15 cars, so we've already got 40 to dispatch for the year. So to find another 60 doesn't seem such a big ask, and so maybe we can get more. So
especially as you price your cars at a level that is, because you don't, it's a different way that you do it from other particular organizations that do similar things to you. Like there is 10,000 for a vehicle is an eminently reasonable amount. So it's quite an achievable target, and therefore that kind of maybe promotes the ability to be able to get more of them.
Yeah, and it's easier to get more of them, actually.
Saying though, speaking to what Claire was just saying, Mark actually was walking on the streets of Lviv. Well, no, we parked up one of the trucks to just do something in Lviv, and he was just sort of milling around the big red L200, Mitsubishi L200, and these 2 guys came up to him and accosted him and said, "Can we have that vehicle? We really need it for this we're like combat medics, and we're starting up this new international legion thing, or some I don't know what exactly what's the setup, but they're like, we really need that vehicle. I don't know if Marcus passed on the details of this unit to you, but it was like, I've got the details in order to try and get an interview with one of these guys, but and they're like bona fide, properly, doing really good stuff, but yeah, just the need is there. Is the point.
And it's huge. So Ivan, please.
Yeah. So when you start looking at the global picture of how to satisfy the needs of the vehicles on the front line, I think it's just probably impossible. It's just because you have dozens of thousands of requests. But if you're trying to maximize the output, there are several things that you can work on. One is the cost. So we try to keep it down, and that helps you to get more stuff. So it's very basic, very obvious, but if you manage it, that actually helps. Two is actually having some focus on what exactly you're trying to do. Because if you just get truck to every single person that comes to you, then it's just impossible. I was listening to one of the podcasts from Taras Chmut. He's like a person, the head of Come Back Alive NGO. Like, it's one of the most transparent, of course, after RIC.
Also the biggest
after yeah, but they are doing things transparently as RIC does, but on a much bigger scale as a organization. And I was listening to his interview, and he underlined one important thing, that you cannot help the entire front line. If you try, you can compare it as if you have a huge piece of bread and you have a little bit of butter, and you spread it all over the bread, and then when you eat it, you don't really feel the impact of the butter. So he made a suggestion that if we as the Come Back Alive or any other NGOs are trying to help, a lot of them try to help everyone everywhere, which actually doesn't do much in total. Whereas the approach that Come Back Alive is trying to do now is focus on something very specific. Maybe it's Kursk operation. Okay, so they actually they form a fist, a strong one. Maybe it's a small one for one direction, but it's a strong one. And we've been thinking about that at Car for Ukraine, and we might do something similar when we're going to have the next big fundraiser, somewhere in March, April, somewhere there. We might focus on that fist. We might want to get in touch with a commander and with his guys, and get some insights of what they're trying to do. That might be something that you will read in news in July, but we're going to start working on that in April to make those news. And instead of just one thing is you just deal with the outcome, that people reach out to you and say, we've been bombed and we need a car. No questions. They need a car. If you can help them, help. But when we talk about more strategic things that you can influence the war, we might need to shift a little bit the approach and do things that preventively can make a huge damage to the enemy, so that they don't cause.
That's a good idea. But how many trucks do you think we'll have to race for to achieve a really big change on some direction?
I think if you have a dozen of trucks that are combined with it's not just trucks, right? Trucks is just an instrument. It's I compare it with socks. It's a thing you need every day. You just wear them and you go. It's not about the trucks. It's about a systematic approach of how one bigger group is using something, rather than one group of 4 people getting this truck that they requested. and then they go and do something. So it's more of ideology. I don't think there is right or wrong on black and white. It's the approach that we want to try. And if we focus on something, then it will be easier to say yes to something and say no to another thing. But that was just, I would say, one of the things I was thinking of. And if you might agree, you might disagree, but it's an approach. Another thing I had in mind, and maybe we can actually come up with something during this stream, is there are many requests that come in from Rick's guys. There are people who came on the street to Jonathan. There are people who come into our website every day. And we were thinking of making not like one truck every 2 days. We were thinking, how can we do 1,000 cars a month? And the way how we could do it, and that's why I mentioned that to Jonathan Pierce, that I want like people who can actually donate a car. That thing helps to scale. And we might actually work together with you on some project that we would call Uber, Car for Ukraine Uber format. So on one side, and I try to visualize that, I see a lot of challenges and I still see some other priorities, so I don't get to it. But on a global scale, you could build a platform where you receive requests. They do go through some moderation. You cannot say yes to everything. You have to verify them. You have to do something. But then on the other side, you have several groups of people who have access to the audience and they share their stories. And they offer, like, here are the soldiers, here's what they need, and give an opportunity to someone to make a very tangible donation. Buy the car, drive it, get it to Ukraine, get some help refitting that, and get it to that soldier. If we remove, middleman as much as possible, and we provide documentation, instructions, here's how you do. I don't care if you do it through Car for Ukraine, through NAFO, through whoever. This is the things you need to cross the border. These are the specs you need to keep in mind. This is the market of Sweden, the market of UK, the market of Poland, good cars, bad cars. If we make a platform like that, we just provide basically the instruction how to do it. Maybe that's the way we could actually do 1,000 cars a month.
That's a really good idea. Like when I was asked to go and do a talk in Stockbridge in Hampshire in the UK on my thoughts on the war, and in fact my thesis was we're in World War III. Most of us don't realize it. And Mark, who's come out with us this time, was one of the people that sorted out that talk. There were two Marks, and involved in that was this person also said, oh, I really want to come to this, but I also want to offer my Land Rover to go to my Land Rover Defender. I've got too old to be able to drive it, or I've got a disability and I can't drive it anymore. And I didn't really know what to do with that, and so I put him in touch with other people, and hopefully that car ended up out in Ukraine. But I don't know, right? But there are people definitely around Europe as a whole, but certainly around Britain in terms of my country, that will surely be up for, getting their older vehicle. And it doesn't always have to be a 4-wheel drive SUV or whatever. There are other uses for vehicles. We saw a couple on the last day I was in Lviv. We went to see the send-off of the vehicles that you had done up, Ivan, and there were two vehicles there, BMW and a Toyota, I think, that were just normal cars. And as long as they're at a certain level, they might well have a use. I mean, preferably trucks, but cars as well. And yeah, I think that's a realistic goal to sort out just a streamlined way of getting, it's a Polish bloody border guards and actually the Ukrainian border guards customs as well that are can be difficult, but as long as all your ducks are in a row and things are, you've got you've a tried and tested way of getting those vehicles out there, then yeah, that's completely doable.
Roman, we have last 9 minutes with you. maybe you have any questions or comments, questions to our guests. I mean, Jonathan's here are representing UK, and they are very passionate supporters of Ukraine. And you know Ivan and Claire already, so maybe you have some questions.
Yeah, you know, in such shields formation, pretty hard to know better.
Mhm.
And I have no time just to know Jonathan and Jonathan more. But I hope maybe next time. I don't want to do this quick quiz, you know, just to ask, hey man, where you from? What you're doing? Okay, good to see. Not my style for communication. Person who supports Ukraine. So I just from what I hear, you guys support Ukraine, and I believe gather a community around like foreign community about Ukraine. So that's enough for me to make the conclusion that you're awesome guys. But I'm going to go to sleep because wake up very early to go to hospital and take off the old stuff. You know, I have
Wow.
Frankenstein right now.
Hmm.
With I look like this, you know,
Oh,
and this and this
Well,
and
my
this.
goodness.
Yes.
oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a
Terminator.
cyborg. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. So I'm
Well,
for
best of
it.
luck to you tomorrow, Roman. Best of luck to you.
Thanks. Thanks.
Or should I say,
Bye.
no, not best of luck. Best of luck's rubbish. Best of science to you, my friend. Best of science.
Yeah. Another opinion against stupidity of doctors.
Thank you, Roman. I actually really
Yeah.
regret that we did not have a proper talk with you today.
It's okay.
Sorry for
A lot
that.
of try, but like it's still right. It's still right to be here.
Okay.
Together, I guess, as always.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure for Rollers too to have you here, and to also see your cyborg stuff. Damn, that was impressive. Thank you for sharing. You could have just go to sleep like that without showing us that, but thank you. It was worth it. Okay.
If you
It's
want,
not
I can show
price.
you my chest. I show you my chest.
If you have some cyber stuff, if you just have hair there, probably
No, I
not.
don't.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, come on. There's a woman in the room. I've got to see his chest. Come on, give me a break.
You
It's
really
been a very
don't.
dry
Really,
stream.
honestly,
I've had,
you really don't.
And here
come
was
on,
Like,
do Jonathan's chest.
I was just
It's,
in tears a minute ago. I was just in tears a minute ago. I don't want to see Ivan cry. I don't
Yeah.
want to see him cry. Like if I got my chest out, like he would be in tears. So it can't
He's
happen.
being humble there. He's surprisingly athletic.
I
It's
know
like
what I
an
know what he has
Olympian
there.
body with a
I know what he has there. He has
rippling pecs.
he has the
whole
car for
thing.
Ukraine tattoo on his chest. Car for Ukraine tattoo on his chest. 100%.
I often
Or maybe
think,
two pins, two cats.
Yeah,
pins,
I've actually put
Oh, one on each
Through-
nipple.
through
Oh,
the
no.
nipples. I put like car from Ukraine pins there. It's a delight to see. I won't show you, but it was quite painful. I had to have quite a lot of vodka, and then I got Jonathan Fink to just put them through, and now I feel
I told you should have gone professional. I mean, me and a needle, a little bottle of ink. I mean, I tried to make it look like General Zaluzhny, and it came out more like Mickey Mouse. You know.
I'm not sure what this is. What is that?
You're a Teletubby.
This is our live stream. Look, I'm a cyborg too. Look, instead of a manly chest, I am a cyborg.
Like
And
an
I just
Iron
showed
Man. You have
Ukraine
instead of
war
reactor, you have the
live streams.
the tablet there, like an Iron Man.
Thank God Mark came in to put this on my chest, because otherwise you were going to see my actual nipples.
Okay. Thank you.
Jesus wept. I never thought this was going to happen.
Oh, thank you for showing that anyway. The spin the wheel button. So I'm doing it now, guys. And this badge goes to, let's check who that is. You cannot hear it. It's also clicking like that, like and then it slows down. So this badge is going to the number 178.
Oh,
Let's see
That's
who
very
that
clever,
is.
isn't it?
178. And that's a gifted ticket. So Martin S. Gifted 25 of his 75 tickets, and Mary M. is the winning number. Guys, this badge goes to Mary M. Mary, are you still there in the chat? Congratulations to you. That's an awesome badge from 28th Brigade. Awesome. And let's go back to the picker wheel and press the spin wheel button again. Let's do it. Pressing it now. 417 tickets. Sorry. And
Did
this
anybody buy
time-
you a ticket, Jonathan, while we were talking? I don't think anybody bought us a ticket.
I think so. Next time we'll make sure.
Oh,
200,
yeah, we would show those.
205. Or maybe someone did. Sometimes people give pluses for you guys too. So it could be a 205. Let's see. This one is gifted by Robert Jonassar. And Claire, you're winning this one.
Are you kidding?
No.
You're kidding?
Claire
Serious?
Ulrichs. Exactly.
No, that's ridiculous. That feels like I've hexed that.
No, Claire, that's just a fantastic luck. Congratulations. Wow.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm going to love it. I love it.
That's an awesome badge. The group of the Blackbeard are awesome guys. Very young and very deadly, I would say. They are snipers, you know.
Well, thank you. Who gifted it to me?
Robert
decent-
Robert Jonassar, and someone in the chat said plus plus for Claire.
Thank you, Jonathan. Robert.
Robert. Jonassar. He's second.
Jonassar.
Yeah, Jonassar. That's magic. Yeah, that's what we call a raffle magic. Magic of gifted tickets.
That's like what Jonathan Pierce is saying about self-determination, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree. And Aziza also is a very talented painter, and we are actually auctioning right now the 3 of her paintings as one lot. And I was mentioning that one earlier on the stream, but people still did not bid on that. Yeah, no, not a single bid yet. Guys, what the hell?
Let's have a look. Where's the painting? Can you show it off?
Yeah, let me show you. The paintings are unfortunately not with me and not with Aziza. They are already packed. All 3 of them tightly packed to be transported carefully, but we have the pictures. So give me a second.
It's a very interesting story about this painting.
Yeah, please tell us.
Because it was a part of the project Krihkis, so it was a charity exhibition for supporting prisoners of war, exactly prisoners of war from the Chernobyl region, but in general for supporting all prisoners of war that now in Russia. And it was like second part of my work, and so dear friends support us and bought this painting, and we sent it. And in some way, in some moment, Lisa said to me that they were lost, so they could not find it in United States, I think. And she said it's very, very sad that we could not send this painting to owners. So for me it was tragedy, because I thought, oh, how it could be. For me it's like more about the sense why my paintings cannot be by people who really on the side of Ukraine, and why it is exactly about my work. And so we made the decision to make it again.
The same paintings.
Same paintings, and it was for me like we had some story, similar story in the past when the painting was crashed, and it was very also sad to know about this. And so Lisa said to me, can you create new art for this? And new art, it's okay, but when Lisa said to me to make it again, same painting, and send it to people, it was for me first a little bit hard. And then I understood that it's really important to make everything for our prisoners, for our people. And it's like a lot of about sense of our fighting, of our struggle for our people. And so from another side, I want really to give my work to our friends who are really did a lot for Ukraine, who really support Ukraine all this time, all this way. And so I began to work, begin to create a new art. And it was really for me great opportunity to touch this Sam again, to feel it again. And for me, this art are not similar 100% with another. They are different. So I ended this painting, and we so sent Lisa. And then after the time, Lisa said to me, we found this old painting. So we found these paintings, and so what we have to do, because we have similar paintings, and we have choice to send it to owner, or to make again lots for. And I think that it's really great to support again Ukrainian army to make something good with this art. And that is why I said to Lisa, like, make it all for the Ukrainian army. And but she said to me, we want to support you, and we want to share with you this supporting. And I was really, it was very very kind from Lisa and from Rick, that they support me. And it was really my poor feeling to support army, to support Ukrainian soldiers that now in Russian captivity. So this is the story.
Thank you, Aziza. Actually, thank you, mods. You're awesome. Thank you, rollers. You're awesome. Thank you, Aziza. You're fantastic. Not
Thank
just
you.
awesome.
You're also fantastic.
Thank
Take
you.
care of yourself.
Thank you, Aziza. You too. Take care of yourself. I will cut more songs. So, guys, more premieres next week.
Yeah.
Already this week. My God, it's 3 a.m. Monday. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Live long, prosper, and donate. Aziza, I think you're making the widest. Live long, prosper. Yeah, yours is so wide. But mine is wide too. Okay. Good night, Aziza. Good night,
Good
rollers. And slava
dream.
Ukraini.
Героям слава.
Героям слава. Bye, guys. Thank you for watching. Please like this video, leave any comment under it, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. You can find the full stream recording. This clip was taken from here. And I invite you to join us on Rick the Ukrainian here for live streams and videos from Ukraine. Thank you, and live long and prosper.